Hey, it's Marin, and this is the February 2020 forecast for Aries Risings. Ooh, we have some sun coming in right now. Aries Risings always gets like the best or kind of most intense lighting because it's generally the earliest one I'm starting out as doing for first signs. So anyway, as this light is like shining down upon me and I'm kind of fucking with it, so I'm not gonna close the window because we're gonna go with the sunlight. Anyway, we will start out with the astrology for February 2020 for you as an Aries rising, what your major transits are and what that will mean energetically. Then we will pull a tarot card and consult the other oracle deck cards to see what other guidance comes through for you for 2020. So starting out overall this month for Aries risings, there's definitely an emphasis on understanding both your career developments and what self-destructive subconscious habits might be also coming into play. Okay, we're gonna have to close the window unfortunately because I feel like we're all dipping out. Back to usual programming. Anyway, as I said, this month for February definitely has an emphasis on both your career and understanding what your self-destructive habits are throughout both your internal and external world. So starting out on the 3rd, Mercury will enter your Pisces 12th house, which is the beginning of this interrogation of what possibly your self-undoing is coming to be. The 12th house has to do with self-undoing, with the internal world, with self-destructive internal denial. And so with Mercury entering Pisces, the planet of intellect and communication, coming into this area of your sky and the sign of its fall and debility, the sign that it does subjectively the most difficultly or most challenge in as Mercury rules and is exalted in the opposite sign of Virgo, definitely looking at a time for self-destructive habits to come up and a chance to understand them or be open-minded towards them. Don't give this a dislike, it gets better. That's just like the first transit. So on the 7th, Venus enters your Aries first house. As I said, it gets much better. Venus entering the first house, bringing ease and harmony into your house of physical body, of self, and of who you are. You're attracting. You are being attractive and getting what you want, basically. Venus in the first house is a bomb transit, and you will have that even though Venus is in her fall or in her detriment, her exile in Aries because she rules Libra, the opposite sign. It's still awesome that it's in your first house. Just do watch out for maybe being too forceful with how you're trying to attract things. That is possibly the nuanced downside to Venus in Aries. On the 9th, there is a Leo full moon in your 5th house, a culmination of events from the past 6 months having to do with children, creativity, romance in your life. These are 5th house topics, and there's a celebration or a culmination coming to head beginning of the month around the 9th. On the 10th, Venus conjoins Chiron and Aries in your 1st house. So on the 10th, there's the possibility for really deep healing around you and yourself or your physical body. It could be a time of opening up to like physical intimacy with someone or to healing like in its stored bodily trauma. Really could be a good time to deal with that or realize that you do have some vulnerabilities starting out on the 10th. On the 16th, Mars enters your Capricorn 10th house, bringing more challenge, more conflict, and more drive into your 10th house of career and public image. Mars is your ascendant ruling planet, so its transits are pretty pertinent, and Mars is exalted in Capricorn, meaning that this transit will give you the utmost opportunity to put Mars and its assertive nature of being severing and decisive to really great use in your career world. On the 18th, the Sun enters your Pisces 12th house, which is illuminating that area of the subconscious, of the psychological internal world of the 12th house, giving you more opportunity to look into any self-destructive habits or internalizations coming to light during this month. On the 20th, Jupiter in Capricorn will sextile Neptune in Pisces, which is a year-long transit, and this is one of the first activations, if not the first. I forgot the exact dates, but on the 20th, the planet of expansion and optimism in your 10th house will be aided out by some dreaminess in your subconscious world, so that your career goals will be aided by opportunities of your psychology, like getting to the bottom of things in your internal world is then going to really open up long-term benefits in your external career. On the 21st, Mars in Capricorn trines Uranus and Taurus, so that going after things in your career are really helped out by some unexpected financial gains from your second house. So there could be some changes or sudden liberations financially that allow you to make more career steps. On the 23rd, there is a Pisces New Moon in your 12th house, a new beginning for you to think of what you want to begin in your subconscious world. Where are the new beginnings coming up regarding what you're unveiling internally? And you can watch my video fully on this Pisces New Moon coming out shortly if it's not already out, because this is definitely a confusing yet necessarily delusional new moon of getting disillusioned and opening up to the fantasies that we're collectively holding. 23rd to the 25th, Venus in Aries squares Jupiter and Pluto in Capricorn between your 1st and 10th houses. So the sense of harmony regarding you and yourself and your physical body, or you being attractive to the physical world, is being at odds with both opportunity and with crisis in your career. Maybe it's allowing you to attract in what you want, but it's forcing you to really become more authentic in ways that are kind of uncomfortable, or growing pains is a good word to describe this aspect. On the 24th, Mars conjoins the South Node in Capricorn, so the 24th might be a day of feeling very drained by your career. You could be doing a ton. I think that you are doing so much in your career right now, and that's what's unveiling the self-destructive habits. And at the same time, it might be kind of draining, like you're working so hard to get to the top, but you're not seeing the external manifestations yet, and that might be kind of discouraging. This is also a good time to let go of any working harder but not smarter tendencies in your career public image world. Finally, on the 25th, there is a Sun Mercury cazimi in your Pisces 12th house. So by the end of the month, there is illuminating information regarding your self-undoing self-destructive habits. This is not meant to rag on you as an Aries rising. This is just the seasonal trend of what's happening and what's coming up for you. This is all going to hit us differently. And for you, this is unveiling, okay, yeah, I really didn't have my best interest, or I really was being in denial about this topic, and now I am ready to get to the bottom of it and change things up. So like I said, this month definitely has both a stark external focus on what you're doing and an internal focus on who you are being, what needs to change so that you have a more healthy internal mindful state. With that being said, let's pull a tarot card to see what tarot card comes up for Aries risings. I'm using just my good old Rider-Waite-Smith tarot card deck here, and let's see what comes up for you guys. We have the Chariot reversed, which makes a lot of sense because the Chariot is associated with Cancer. It's how we take care of the physical carrier of our body to get to the things we need to do. Like, what do you need to do in order to survive to do the things you need to do? So with it inverted, watch out for not taking care of the primal needs. On like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, to be individuated, we have to first take care of our basic needs. How are you not nurturing your basic mental state? Like, mental self-care, I think, is super important for this month to allow you to flourish in your career goals. Now let's pull a Work Your Light Oracle deck to see what metaphysical guidance is coming through for Aries risings. Awakening. Energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. I think this makes a ton of sense because you're awakening into states that you did not realize you were unconscious into. You know, you can't wake up unconsciousness by shoving consciousness in its face. So little by little, I think by being diligent and adopting really healthy self-care practices, you are awakening into new areas of life that you weren't otherwise aware of your potential being in the external world. Finally, for a Law of Attraction card, we have I want continual joyous growth. I am a growth-seeking being, and it is exhilarating to remember that expansion is not only natural but inevitable. I love knowing that joy is simply a choice, so since my expansion is inevitable, I choose to have it in joy. I love this. If we can see that interrogation, that internal inquiry about why we don't feel safe in our practices, we can find that joy amongst the path, seeing everything as a journey, not getting discouraged about our external efforts not leading somewhere when we see that leading is the very goal. So if you found this helpful, check out my private astrology consultations down below because I would love to read for you, and let me know if this is resonating with you, if this is actually taking place for you this month, or if you are expecting some of these themes. Otherwise, like, subscribe, hit post notes, do all the things, and I will see you in the next video.